What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the top 3 new best builds in Dune Awakening. So in this guide I will give you a quick overview of each setup, then I will explain what skill trees and upgrades should you focus on, then as well we'll see what is the best gear and how to get it. And then finally we will go over the best weapons, techniques, your skill rotations, and even what core passive should you use, so we would be able to get the highest damage possible and much more. And before we continue, thanks to the Time Saver, their pro website that provides Dune Awakening boosting, custom-based building, all types of items and the currency, with a cheap price and fast delivery. They also have over 4.9 stars on Trustpilot, and this website is really worth a try, so click my link in the description to check them out. So, a sniper build in Dune Awakening is the ultimate setup for players who prefer to stay at a distance, pick off enemies one by one with precision, and control of the battlefield with the patience and the strategy. This build focuses on maximizing range damage output, critical hits, and the long-range survivability. The main idea revolves around choosing the perfect moment to strike from afar, by utilizing the stealth and positioning to avoid direct confrontation, and capitalizing on the devastating power of the high-impact sniper rifle. If you enjoy a tactical approach where every shot counts and you want to dominate enemies before they even get close to you, then the sniper build is your best choice. It's especially effective in both PVE and PvP, where the map control and timing are key. As you invest into the right skills and the gear, your ability to deal lethal headshots and maintain distance will make you one of the most powerful players on the server. So, let's take a look at the setup. For the sniper build, your main focus will be on the Trooper and the Ben Gesserit skill trees. Starting with the Trooper is essential, as it provides several passive boosts to your range damage, increased critical hit chance, and enhances your accuracy. The key skills include Tactical Reload, which reduces reload time, allowing you to fire more shots in quick successions, and then the Sharpshooter, which significantly increases the headshot damage, making your sniper a pretty much a one-shot. The Ben Gesserit will complement this by offering mobility and utility skills, like the Bindu Sprint, which helps you to reposition quickly after firing, and skills that improve stamina and energy regeneration, and are also crucial for maintaining your stealth and the movement throughout the combat. Additionally, investing into the passives that increase stealth effectiveness and reduce enemy detection range will make you harder to spot, which allows you to set up ambushes and pick off targets before they can even respond. And then through the mid to late game, you will want to balance unlocking damage boosting skills with survivability and the resource management, which will ensure that you can keep firing without running out or getting overwhelmed. As I mentioned, as you progress into the mid game, your priority will shift to refining your ability to stay alive while dishing out consistent damage. I recommend for you to focus on unlocking passive bonuses that improve your max health and the stamina, which will help you to survive enemy encounters when things inevitably get close. At this stage, you also want to experiment with the advanced trooper skills that enhance your tactical options, such as deploying grenades to control the space or breaking the enemy shields from afar. Also, incorporating the Ben Gesserit's healing and the energy regeneration passives will ensure that you remain agile and able to maintain the distance. Your gameplay should become more methodical, by engaging enemies from a safe vantage point, then landing a high damage shot and then repositioning, by using the Bindu Sprint or other movement abilities to avoid the counterattack. You mainly want to prioritize upgrading your sniper rifle with the perks that improve critical hit damage, range, and the reload speed to maximize your efficiency in the battle. And now finally, once you've reached the endgame, the sniper build will truly come into its own. At this point, we want to max out all the relevant passives that boost damage output, critical hit chance, and the resource regeneration. Skills like the Precision Strike should be your focus, because they will amplify your ability to deal massive damage with a headshot. By now, your movement and the stealth ability should be honed to the perfection, allowing you to control the pace of the fight and avoid taking unnecessary damage. Consider adding utility skills or the tools that complement your sniper playstyle, such as deploying traps or using grenades to force enemies into the line of the sight. Refining your gear with a high tier armor that improves your stamina regen and the stealth bonuses will also ensure that you remain elusive, while weapon perks focusing on damage and the cooldown reduction will allow you to fire more shots in the less time. In-game sniper play is all about the patience, precision, and the perfect execution, by turning you into a deadly marksman capable of dismantling even the toughest enemies from a distance. However, if you're still not to this point, then I recommend to start with something like the Karpov 38, which is a versatile rifle that balances range, accuracy and damage. At the start, the Karpov 38 sniper rifle will serve as your main damage dealer, especially effective for the long-range headshots and picking off key targets. For secondary weapons, consider carrying a shotgun like the Gear DA-44 or a sidearm for the emergencies when enemies close the distance. These weapons will give you flexibility and prevent you from being caught off guard in a tight space. Upgrading your sniper rifle perk will increase its critical hit damage, range and reload speed, while your secondary weapon should focus on quick reload and the stagger potential to buy you precious seconds in melee combat. And then, when it comes to the armor for the sniper build, your main goal is to stay alive without sacrificing mobility or stealth. Early on, light or medium armor sets like the Kurab Scout set are ideal because they offer good environmental resistance and enough durability without weighting you down. These sets will improve stamina regen and help you to stay agile while moving between the vantage points. As you progress, I recommend for you to seek out gear that boosts your stamina regen, energy efficiency and the critical hit bonuses to complement your playstyle. Also, don't overlook the suspensor belts like the Emperor's Wing Mk1, which provides essential mobility enhancements, allowing you to reposition quickly or escape dangerous situations. Pair this with a reliable power pack such as the old Sparky Mk1 to keep your abilities running longer and maintaining your edge in a drawn-out engagement. In my opinion, the suspensor belt is a must-have to quickly reposition and find a new sightline or escape danger. Early on, you want to equip the Emperor's Wing Mk1 to get a solid boost in mobility, and as you progress, you can unlock more advanced belts with increased travel distance and the energy efficiency. Then also, power packs like the old Sparky Mk1 will help you to sustain ability usage by regenerating energy faster, which is very critical since the skills like the Bindu Sprint and tactical reloads rely on these resources. Additionally, traps or grenade tools can be used to control the battlefield, slow enemies down or even force them into vulnerable positions for your snipers to shoot. The Emperor's Blade build is one of the most aggressive and satisfying melee playstyles that are currently available in the game. What makes it truly stand out is its ability to stay consistently in the motion while dishing out massive damage with the low cooldowns. This setup is built around one idea in mind: to close the gap fast, then stagger or parry your target and then let loose with your core abilities, especially the Eye of Storm. This skill alone can absolutely melt enemies when timed right, and when used during the prescience windows. It deals double damage, allowing you to wipe out targets in seconds even in the tougher fights. The beauty of this build is how it mixes speed, the raw power and the quick combat execution. It's designed for players who enjoy being in the thick of the fight, reading enemy movement and reacting in real time. If you love timing dodges, triggering perfect parries, and spinning through the groups of enemies like a bladed tornado, then the setup is just for you. The fast-paced, skill-based nature of the Emperor's Blade build will mean it's highly engaging and keeps you on your toes, making every encounter feel dynamic and rewarding. And because it's centered on the core Swordmaster mechanics, it scales beautifully as you invest into the right passives, gear and the weapons later in the game. To begin with, you're going to focus entirely on the Swordmaster tree. This class offers a perfect combination of active abilities and the passive bonuses that all synergize towards one goal, keeping you mobile while dealing very heavy melee damage. Your first priority should be unlocking the ability called the Knee Charge. This is your main initiator. It lets you slam into the enemies, stagger them while closing the gap quickly. It's your go-to opener and the fastest way to break the flow of a range or defensive enemy. And then, once you are in their face, you can immediately shift into the core combo. Next up we have Solido Decoy. This is deceptively powerful. Not only does it confuse enemies, but also give you time to reposition, heal or catch a breath in mid-fight. When you're deep in a group or going one-on-one against a tankier enemy, then popping your decoy can swing the fight back in your favor. But the real heart of this build is the Eye of Storm. This spinning AoV bladed ability is your signature move. It deals consistent melee damage around you, but when activated during the prescience, it becomes devastating, doubling its damage and allowing you to smash through the enemies like a butter. To support these active abilities, you will want to pair them with specific techniques. The Reckless Lunge is a great one to start with. It gives you damage mitigation when you sprint into the enemies, which pairs beautifully with the Knee Charge. Dance of the Blades is another essential technique. Every time you defeat an enemy, your next melee strike is empowered, which helps you to keep momentum going in long fights. Finally, grab Discipline Breathing early on. It increases your stamina regen so you can keep up your dodging, parrying, and sprinting throughout every encounter. Also, don't ignore the non-Swordmaster options like the Bindu Sprint and the Shigveer Claw. You can equip these in your travel and exploration loadout to maintain your mobility and agility when you're not directly into combat. These tools are especially helpful for traveling through the terrain quickly or repositioning during the bigger fights. Then next, as you transition into the mid-game, your goal should be to sharpen your defenses while deepening your survivability. The trick here is to avoid tunnel visioning into just one passive tree. Instead, spread out your points across the Swordmaster, Bene Gesserit, and maybe even the Planetologist to unlock early passives that give you much more benefits. For example, look for passive bonuses to max stamina, energy regen, and the healing received. These will help you to sustain aggressive playstyle and reduce downtime between the fights. During this phase, your rotation should begin to feel smooth, so engage with the knee charge, land a quick parry and dodge to avoid damage, then activate the Eye of Storm when you see the Prescience active. Then follow this up with the basic melee strike, and then fall back temporarily by using the Solido decoy if your health dips too low. On top of this, crafting healing kits will become more important in this phase, and you should always keep a few on you, since you'll be consistently up close and trading damage. Also, experiment with the tech tree unlocks that support energy management. You're going to burn through the stamina and power quickly, and unless you start gearing towards regeneration, you will feel a bottleneck. Abilities like the Dance of the Blades and the Discipline Breathing will become even more crucial, because they increase uptime and allow for longer sustained pressure. And now lastly, once you hit the endgame, most of your skill trees are filled out, and it's time to refine the build into its most powerful form. Start by maxing out every single Swordmaster passive that you unlocked so far. Prescience Strike should become your priority. It allows your next melee ability to deal double the damage whenever you trigger the Prescience. Also, the Eye of Storm synergizes with this so well that it can become your entire damage combo in both PvE and PvP. This is also where you can start introducing advanced gap closers like the Weirding Step or better versions of the Shigveer Claw. Combining these with your existing movement skills will create a loop of mobility and offense that is hard for enemies to react to. You should feel like you're controlling the flow of the battle at all time, hitting from the angles, spinning through the groups, and resetting fights with the Solido decoy. You'll also want to refine your gear perks and the weapon bonuses. Go for equipment that boosts melee damage, cooldown reduction, or damage resistance during the sprint or parry. Also, passive armor perks that enhance energy regeneration or the stamina return are also top tier choices, allowing you to keep cycling through your skill rotation with no interrupts. Then next up, in terms of armor, your main concern is staying alive while you're right into the enemy's face. A great early choice is the Slaver's Heavy Set. It provides you with enough durability without sacrificing too much speed. Later on, you can upgrade to gear with the enhanced melee resistances or the stamina regen bonuses. Also, don't underestimate the importance of the suspensor belts. Even in melee builds, mobility tools are key, so equip the Emperor's Wing MK1 early on, as it gives you solid movement boosts and lets you reposition during chaotic fights. Later, the belt will give you longer range or the energy efficiency, which will help you to sustain your pressure. Pair your belt with a strong power pack. Look for ones like the old Sparky MK1, which improves your power regeneration. The longer your power lasts, the more abilities you can cast without being forced to retreat. Managing these resources will become the second nature with a practice, and it separates a good player from a great one. Next we have our weapons. Your bread and butter is the long blade. Look for fast, hard-hitting options like the Adept Rapier or the Caliph Jinker. These are great for chaining light attacks between the ability casts. If you can, unlock passives that boost blade damage or attack speed to further elevate your base output. Your melee combo should feel like a dance. Strike, dodge, spin, and repeat. While melee is your focus, don't be afraid to carry a secondary weapon like a shotgun or a sidearm for the range support. Sometimes you will need to deal with enemies at a distance or break shields before diving in, so weapons like the Distributor or the Karpov 38 can give you that extra edge in tougher fights or group content. This mobile trooper build is incredibly versatile and dynamic combat setup that specializes in mobility, sustained firepower, and the tactical repositioning. This build revolves around staying light on your feet while consistently laying down the suppressive fire from the mid to long range, which makes it ideal for players who love to kite the enemies, then flank them from unexpected angles, and control the battlefield with insane speed. Unlike melee-focused builds, the mobile trooper will thrive by never standing still. You'll be in consistent motion, using gear and enhanced skills that boost your sprint speed, stamina regeneration, and the rapid directional changes that make yourself a difficult target. Whether you're raining bullets on NPC mobs or outmaneuvering other players in PvP, the Mobile Trooper build will bring unmatched flexibility. What truly makes this build shine is its synergy between the tools, passive bonuses, and the lightwear armor choices. Every element of your loadout is tailored towards a fast pace, relentless playstyle that rewards quick reflexes, smart positioning, and precision aim. Instead of brute force, you will rely on overwhelming pressure and hit and run tactics to pick off targets before they can even react. And thanks to increasing variety of the ranged weapon options, you will always have something to fall back on. Either way, if it's a burst damage rifle, crowd control grenade, or even utility gadget to give you an edge. For players who love speed and tactical advantage over the raw power, then the Trooper is one of the most exciting and the skill-intensive builds that is currently available in the game. So let's take a look at our skill tree, and instead of focusing heavily on traditional class-based trees, the Mobile Trooper will thrive by prioritizing utility and movement-enhancing skills. Your main active ability should be including the Shigwear Claw, Suspensor Pad, and the Energy Capsule. Shigwear Claw is a powerful repositioning tool that lets you pull yourself quicker towards terrain or enemies, allowing for aggressive flanks or the rapid escapes. Then Suspensor Pad will let you launch vertically by giving you a tactical elevation and opening up creative movement in both PvE and PvP. On top of this, Energy Capsule is critical for keeping your stamina and the power regeneration high during the sustained engagements. These actives are supported by a refined selection of techniques. For example, the Battle Harden will give you increased resilience in combat, especially when trading shots with the ranged enemies or escaping danger. Then Suspensor Dash is your go-to mobility technique, letting you quickly dart out of the harm's way, or reposition in combat without relying entirely on a vertical movement. And then there's even the Death from Above, which is a devastating aerial strike that allows you to combo with Suspensor Pad, or unexpected burst damage from above. This combo is not only effective in disorienting enemies, but also adds a whole new layer and surprise to your encounters. This build does not rely on a single skill tree. Instead, it pulls from multiple sources to create a hybrid that's extremely mobile and responsive. You should invest into the general passive traits that improve energy regen, stamina management, and the cooldown reduction. But your primary goal is to maintain freedom of movement while delivering consistent range pressure. Your mobility becomes your defense, and your movement tools will become your offense. The next up, as you enter the mid-game, the Mobile Trooper will begin to show its full potential. By now, you should have unlocked enough core abilities to maintain near constant fire while sprinting around the battlefield. At this stage, your focus should shift towards mastering rhythm and resource management. Mid-game fights are where the stamina and energy limitations will become more noticeable. So, you need to start optimizing your combat flow. Begin every encounter by softening up enemies with the suppressive fire, then kite them through the narrow pathways or open terrain by using the boosted movement to avoid damage. Then as well, you can do things like crafting consumables, for example adrenaline shots or the sprint enhancing injections, which will become a key here. These items can give you critical bursts of movement speed or the damage resistance, which is perfect for resetting a fight or diving into a risky flank. You should also experiment with multiple weapon types during this phase. While a marksman rifle is your main tool, a secondary option like the SMG or Energy Burst sidearm can give you much more versatility against a shielded target. And now lastly, once you've hit the endgame, it's time to push the Mobile Trooper to its limits. By now, your gear and technique should be fully optimized around the burst movement, vertical place, and the sustained range output. This is when you start chaining your main actives together for a non-stop engagement loop. You want to open with the Suspensor Pad, following that up with the Death from Above for the burst, then use Shigwear Claw to quickly reposition or escape. While moving, pop Energy Capsule to refill your stamina and keep up the pressure with your ranged weapons. You'll also want to refine your build to include cooldown reduction passives and combat gear that enhances the energy and the stamina usage. Death from Above will become one of your best engagement openers when timed after the Suspensor Pad, because you will catch enemies off guard, and even the weaker ones you will one-shot. Next up we have our equipment, and for the choice of armor, the Mobile Trooper build should emphasize lightness and utility above a brute force. We want to begin with the Combat Scout set or equivalent light armor gear that enhances sprint speed and the stamina regen. These sets won't offer the highest defense, but the mobility they provide is far more valuable to your playstyle. Once you start collecting the higher tier pieces, you want to upgrade to the variant that offers enhanced movement traits, especially those that give sprint duration bonuses or the dodge cooldown reduction. Suspensor belts are critical here. Equip one with the Wingbreaker belt or the Reflex MK2, which gives you a burst dash or the temporarily speed increase after taking a damage. These belts make it easier to break out of a dangerous situation or collapse quickly on a squishy target. You want to match it with a high-performance power pack, ideally something like the Overdrive Core or Pulse Generator, which boosts your gadget energy and offers a short cooldown that refreshes after sprinting or using an ability. These combinations lets you keep up relentless pace, which is crucial for staying effective in long fights.